humanity. It's March 4th, 2019. And again, it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, my name's Paul.
And my name's Bev. Good morning.
And here we are. We have another great day.
I think, it's beautiful here today, too.
Springtime in Tucson. There's a funny little thing. It's like, what is it? 5 a.m. It's winter.
Right.
10 a.m.
It's spring.
2 p.m. it's summer. and 5 it's fall.
I've seen that. That's really
Go
funny.
through the whole thing in
one day. Yeah.
So we're going to have a good show today. You know, I always feel funny saying, good morning, humanity. And I always feel so repetitious about it. But I've been watching the news a lot lately. They say the same thing every time. Breaking news today, or as we go on the air.
Good evening. This is so-and-so.
So we're all right.
We're good.
Good morning, humanity. We have a great question today, as you can see it at the bottom of the screen. But what proof is there that BioTouch works? All right. We've got a lot to talk about with that one. If you've been noticing on our Facebooks, we're doing a 90-day postings.
We are.
Julie is posting a little blip, a little meme, or a little video for 90 days. So we're going to see if we can really, I was told if you do something for 90 days, you'll be a success.
Okay. I'm going to take you at your word. Uh-oh. I'm watching.
So look out, Bev. Got work coming for you.
Oh, turn that right around on me, did you? Okay.
So here we go. We've got, what is the proof that BioTouch works? So we're going to go over a lot of the data that came in because it's the anniversary of meeting our dear friend Gary Schwartz, Dr. Gary Schwartz, PhD, tenured professor at the University of Arizona. I think he worked at Yale or Harvard. He's done research. He's a maverick in the field of energy healing experiments, also with survival of consciousness. He's such a maverick. His colleagues would really like to get rid of him.
Well, when you start doing angel energy, right. Come on.
So anyhow, I got a picture of him, the celebrity Gary Schwartz. That's his book, Energy Healing Experiments, and our book, which we'll read from today, BioTouch Healing with the Power in Our Fingertips. And it was 20 years ago that we started research with him and started to speak the language of research. So what proof is there that BioTouch works? We started with Gary Schwartz. We went into Dr. Kenna Stephenson at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Right.
And then Dr. Carole McKenzie, who was the nursing director at Northwestern Oklahoma State University.
Yes.
So we're going to share a lot of their research and read a little bit of the afterwords written by Carole.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we want to show you is the data we got from Gary. Oh, no, we don't. First thing we want to talk about is maybe it's all placebo.
Ooh.
I always like this little bottle. This was in the New York Times article that was in November. Dr. Larry's empty bottle. Dose. As much as you want until symptoms abate. 0 ounces in this bottle.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, people many times, consider maybe BioTouch is, just placebo.
Well, I know that there's some, and we had a show earlier, I think last year, on the placebo effect. There's quite a bit of research going on in that arena. So, yeah. So,
if it is placebo, that's proof enough, because what they're finding out is if you give a sugar pill even to someone and tell them this is going to help their digestion, and it's given by a doctor that you respect, a huge percentage of people get better.
Yeah, I know.
We're also going to talk about the movie Heal. It was on Netflix, about changing your environment and how BioTouch can help in the conflict of trying to change our environment.
Right.
So without changing the environment, we started doing some research studies. And here's the first one we did with Gary Schwartz. We did, you can see, almost 1,000 people at 4 different locations, which is very good for research. And we did pre and post session stress. And you can see that the solid line is the stress before a session. And you can see Amity, which is a drug rehab community, had the highest amount of stress. And who had the lowest amount of stress?
Well, come on.
Aloha. The ocean breezes.
Right.
So then we did a little session doing stress set, headset, and you can see a significant drop in all stress, even in Hawaii.
Yeah.
The stress drop in the Amity people, they almost felt like they were going to pass out.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's quite a big drop.
Big drop,
actually.
almost 3 points,
Right.
over 3 points.
Yeah.
And they felt like they'd pass out or they'd get real tired. The same thing happened with high school kids. They had that same kind of drop. So there was one pre and post session of stress. And then he took that same stress check questionnaire, and we did a research project with his freshman psychology class. And this one was to do non-contact, doing some biotouch points off the skin, through the clothes, and on the skin. And as you can see here, pre-session and post-session, that biotouch on the skin had the greatest amount of stress reduction. Non-contact was a little bit, so, where's the placebo fit in even on the non, because even your eyes are closed. But definitely when you have perception of skin-to-skin touch, there was stress reduction much more significant than through the clothes and off the body.
Right.
So that was some of the research. Amazing.
Yeah. So I want you to share with them, because I asked you to say this, what you said to Gary when he yeah.
Yes, what I said to Gary when I first met with him and his wife at that time, Linda, and they met me at the Arizona Inn in these plush couches, and he says to me, he says, okay, so we're thinking about doing research. He was just opening the Human Energy Systems Laboratory. He says, what happens if we do research and we find out that biotouch really has no effect?
Oh, good question.
It is. And I said, I'd be the first one to take our manual, rip it up, and throw it out.
Which he was not expecting.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And he was impressed by that we had no desire to prove something except whatever the data showed.
Right.
And that was his big thing. Where does the data lead you?
Yeah. What biotouch is, how could you feel any other way? Otherwise you just become everybody else's.
Right. So what did it show? It showed huge reduction in stress and pain, symptoms of disease, and also a sense of feeling cared for and relaxed. Those were the basic things. So then what we did is we did some other research with Dr. Carole McKenzie. She was the nursing director at the University, Northwestern Oklahoma State University. The program was sort of falling apart, and she revitalized it and brought it to where all the students were passing with flying colors to national boards. Yeah. And she used biotouch, and we want to read to you. She wrote the afterwords to our book written by Deborah Schildhouse, Healing with the Power in Our Fingertips. And this is the afterword. And so we're just going to read a couple of paragraphs because it really fits with this question. What proof do you have that biotouch works?
Right. And of course, she's talking about biotouch. So she says, I was instantly intrigued and felt a total connection to it. I began with taking the biotouch class and then began having my students take the class. Eventually, I had my students take the beginning and advanced classes, and then had students in research class conduct pre- and post-intervention research using biotouch. The results were astounding. We had large, convenient samples showing improvement in all areas, including reduction of pain, stress, and restlessness, and improvement of feelings of well-being and relaxation. Finally, we did measurements of pre- and post blood pressures, pulse, and respiration. Improvement was noted in all areas on a sample size of 202. While it was clear subjectively that biotouch made a difference, the various studies conducted indicated objective, marked improvement in all areas. Since there are no side effects and no special equipment required, most components can be performed anywhere, and biotouch is so easy to learn that children can be taught, so there is no downside. Because biotouch has an impact on decreasing stress and improving health outcomes, one can make the case that for clients who are receiving biotouch, their productivity is enhanced, making it a cost-saving measure. There is also limited research indicating that immunity is improved. That connection is difficult to prove given the cost of applicable research, but it certainly makes reasonable scientific sense. Again, if managing stress is one of the preventative strategies to manage illness, the cost and wellness benefits of BioTouch are important.
Written by a medical professional.
Yeah. Oh, my. Yeah.
And that was with a lot of research and a lot of testing it with people. And if that's all we do.
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, and Carole said it herself in some of the research that I was reading about online on our link to all of that research. She says, let's face it, stress and a feeling of anxiety and not being relaxed or cared for is about 80% of the cause of dis-ease.
And now they're up to 85, 90%.
Wow.
There's a movie out now called Heal.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Right.
And talks about, there's a guy who's a pharmacist specialist, research specialist, different people talking about the mind-body connection and the environment and our thoughts. The interesting thing is even people who eat healthy, all the right foods end up getting sick. So there's all kinds of things playing into us. And so what we want to show, what proof is there that BioTouch works? Then Dr. Stephenson, Kenna Stephenson at the University of Texas at Tyler, who spent most of her time researching big drug companies, million-dollar drug projects, and decided to teach some people how to do BioTouch and do a BioTouch research project with the same questions that Gary did and Dr. McKenzie did, but also added some saliva testing, which tested hormone levels.
Oh, wow.
Blood spot testing, which also tested hormone levels. Also did a very deep questionnaire called the SF-36. And her research was mind-boggling.
Oh, I know.
Because she created what we're going to call the stress cycle. And it is right there. So as you can see, everything above in the top half circle up there are all the stressors in our life, as called through that HEAL program, our environment. And for those who are on the podcast, it's tobacco, relationships, environment, diet, fats, sugars, red meats, prescriptions, non-prescription drugs, genes. Genes are a big play in our makeup of stressors in our life. They're finding out that we actually carry DNA stressors from generations past.
I know. It's really amazing research there.
Psychological stress and distress, emotions, negative attitudes, beliefs, low self-esteem, lifestyle, childhood trauma, physical or sexual abuse, social status, unemployment. We can even put politics in here, all these, driving down the street, all these things are what are called the activation of accelerated aging pathways and create chronic stress. And as it's being shown more and more by the medical scientific community, that creates a cortisol dysregulation and an immune dysregulation. And that's what creates these diseases called dementia, cardiovascular disease, infections, benign and malignant tumors, mood disorders, obesity, and the list goes on and on. You can put fibromyalgia, MS.
Autoimmunes.
Yes.
Epidemic of autoimmunes going on.
And so these epidemics are taking over our society regardless of, even doing other kinds of things, eating right and trying to change all those things on top. And I'll tell you what I really like about this particular chart is where you put BioTouch into the system, into the stress cycle. And it's not about changing your life. Because if you think about that, and in this movie they talk about people who tried to change their life and felt like a failure.
Yes.
Because they weren't getting better, or they still had to do the chemotherapy. They had to do some of the standard medical procedures and almost felt like a failure.
Well, I've said it before, in this society, if we don't get quick results, or we must be doing something wrong, or, because we're being told that if you're not feeling better within a certain amount of time, then either drug up again, or you're not doing something right, or
you didn't follow the
you
protocol.
Didn't follow the protocol.
Doctor
You know,
did.
and so yeah, we're setting ourselves up for failure to heal.
And so what's wonderful about BioTouch in relation to this chart is if you bring BioTouch into the chronic stress accelerated aging pathway, you just bring it in there. You don't try to change anything above. You just start doing BioTouch. And again, we're talking about 30 seconds a day, maybe, just to do the greeting. What Kenna Stephenson found, Dr. Stephenson found, was improved circadian pattern of cortisol release. Those are the things that are supposed to calm down when you sleep, and you're supposed to wake up refreshed. And that creates an improved quality of life. And she also found an increased interleukin 12 level, which improves our immune system function, increases the activity of genes that fight infection and cancer and promote healthy aging. And those are done in the midst of our chronic stress.
You know, it's so important, I think, when I look at that cortisol dysfunction, there is a lot of attention being paid to that. Remember when Sally did our joint replacement workshop, she said, and she's a retired nurse, she said the cortisol levels eventually will create the inflammation, and then it goes into the joints, and all of a sudden we've got all of these autoimmunes. You know, it's amazing.
There's a naturopath in town here in Tucson that won't even work with people until she checks your cortisol rhythms, because she thinks that every disease we have is based on that cortisol rhythm not being what it should be. And the research shows BioTouch can help regulate that cortisol release.
I know, that's just good.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
Good.
It's good stuff.
So it's important for us to teach you how to do these things. And I'll tell you, we have just doing the greeting, which is part of our 21-day program, would make changes. And then if you add just the stress set, that would be another minute. And we're going to share with you how to do that. So here we go. Here's our manual. And we're going to teach you how to do the stress set.
The stress set may be used to address any manifestation of physical, emotional, or mental stress, as well as anxiety and shingles. Hold at X, which is in the fleshy area just below the bottom of the breastbone. It is the same as greeting point 1. Then with the other hand touch points 1 and 2, which are the same points as in the heart set. These points are found by imagining a line running from the notch at the top of the breastbone to a place on the left breast where the nipple would be on a youth. Divide this imaginary line into thirds. Point 1 is at the top of the first third. Point 2 is at the top of the second third. These points may be touched repeatedly, and remember to touch each point for at least 6 to 8 seconds.
That's it, huh? That's all you got?
You know, if you can't have somebody do it for you and you don't have anybody to work on, just watch that video.
Right. I know, it's true. I was like, took a breath. I know.
It's like, and that can create healing. And we don't teach people how to do something. You don't have to worry about changing your life. BioTouch helps you wake up to your own body, to what you need, to what diet you need that's going to work for you. There are as many diets as there are people on the planet.
Oh, my goodness. I think that's a really important point that we always are, pardon the pun, stressing here about BioTouch because, BioTouch lets us just be and start to learn to do something that, is not really program into us. Start to trust ourselves and our body, and don't expect a quick fix. This is a journey, but at the end of it and during it, oh my gosh, that self-awareness and to see things come together and to be in the presence of that journey is in itself a healing.
So don't believe just us. Go to our website. We have a whole section of testimonials. It's called Talking Story. And there are testimonials after testimonials. Hear what people are saying that's happened to them. If you're watching this show, write a little note in the comments. What have you experienced with BioTouch? What do you have to say about whether BioTouch has worked or not? And if it hasn't, or you're still questioning it, write that down. We don't tell you to believe in it. This is not about a belief system. It's just about trying it and seeing what happens.
Yeah, I'm just, this is a time for us to really explore and expand our old thinking, the way that we've been thinking about our bodies.
So we're having a workshop coming up. We're having a class coming this Thursday. If you're still interested, sign up for that. That's Thursday night for the next 3 weeks. And we are having a workshop, our health condition workshop this month is asthma with speaker Dr. Lance Morris. He's a naturopathic physician in Tucson. That's the 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. And if you can't be here, then guaranteed it's going to be running live, streaming on you.
You will be live streaming it.
And that's been fun. We had over 10 people at our last workshop with Mercedes. That was a wonderful workshop. It was awesome. We didn't even talk about that. But we're out of time, folks.
Really? Boy, you go on and on and on, don't you?
Please, practice BioTouch. Visit us at justtouch.com.
Please, yeah. And step into that 21-day challenge.
Yes.
Start it today, and
So, put love into action, as Horace Barnes says, and we will see you all next week, right?
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love in